Hello! Welcome to Friday with Friends. Friday with Friends is our opportunity to talk about what's happening in the market, to answer any questions you might have, so that if you have any real estate needs, we would love the opportunity to be your realtor of choice.
Yes, exactly. And we are just finishing up quarter one of 2021. So today we are here to talk about what happened in the first quarter. And you can't really talk about the first quarter without talking about good old 2020.
Good old 2020. It was just a great time.
It's a great time. It was a great time. It was a tough time, but we are through it now. And so today we're really going to get into what happened in quarter one and also give a quick recap on the overall market in 2020.
Yeah, so people were saying, what happened in 2020? And overall, the real estate market did incredible in 2020. We had a really rough go. So everything kind of shut down for us. As a recap, everything shut down for the real estate market at the end of March. Yeah. Between March and April, we were down 18%. Real estate as a whole for our nation was down about 18%. And then from April to May, we were down 10%. Yeah. Because what happened between March and April, it was you could barely do a showing, right? Yeah. We couldn't get into showings, we couldn't have inspections. So then now we know that no one does inspections anymore, right, apparently. Exactly. But no inspectors, no agents could enter the property with their clients. It was a really tough time, and that's where that 18% and that dramatic decrease happened. And then slowly we started to find ways to make that work. And then June was actually one of the strongest months.
Crazy.
Since like 2006. Like, it was a crazy June.
We were up 21% overall in June. So we saw March hit like most industries. It took that initial hit where we were virtual, no inspections, no showings, things like that. Everything was online. Now we were, quick to adapt and kind of make sure that our sellers were still able to sell virtually and safely. Our buyers were still able to buy virtually and safely. But it did take that initial hit throughout the country. And then we rebounded in June, which was just amazing. And since then, it's been off to the races, we'll say.
It has. And so how we ended the year was Monroe County was down, total sales were down 6.1%. However, and this is Rochester region, okay, so we're taking it back. So 2020, taken back to the Rochester, Monroe County, and the surrounding counties, we're down 6%, and the total average day on market is 0.6 months supply.
0.6.
So what is that? A couple weeks of supply, which is crazy low. 3 months, remember, is a balanced market. When you have 3 months supply, it is a balanced market. So it's an extreme seller's market right now in Monroe County, which if you've listened to us for 10 seconds, you know that to be true.
Exactly. And now in Monroe County, the sale price was actually up over 100%. So that means the list price to sale price, instead of being, if it was listed at 100,000, sold at 100,000, that would be 100%. We're actually up at 101.6%. So prices are up and over. In Ontario County, sales were also down 7.6%. They have just about 2 months worth of inventory, so still significantly under that 3-month kind of threshold that we're looking at, and they're at 97.7% of list price, so very, very close to 100% there.
And then Wayne County, which we love to share on because it's been such an interesting analysis with the numbers, they were down 5.3% with a 1.1 month of supply and 98.5 list price. Now, here's the key with all of these things. Quarter 4 was out of this world. In every single county, quarter 4 was out of this world compared to year over year. Because typically in quarter 4, things start to slow down. We start to see people that are, okay, we're going to hunker down for the winter. Well, because there was so much pent up demand and a lot of people delayed listing their house, quarter 4 was like a spring market.
Spring market, exactly.
For us. Exactly. And so the stats we have for that is quarter 4 sales volume was up 34% in Monroe County, 28% in Ontario County, 23% in Wayne County, making the median sale price increased 16 to 23% across these counties.
Crazy. And so you might be hearing,
quarter 4.
How are sales down and prices up? And that's pretty much the easy way to kind of look at it, and we'll get into more of the why, but is that the amount of listings, there's just less listings, so there's less sales overall, but each sale has a higher sale higher sale price. So that's why you're looking, well, why are they talking about down but then up? How does that work? less listings, higher sale price, and 16%. That means that if you owned a home, generally speaking, the equity that you have in your home went up 16 to 23% last year alone. So that is amazing for our clients, and that's why the value of real estate is so huge as an investment overall, because in 1 year, your investment increased 16 to 23% depending on the specifics. So it's pretty cool.
And a lot of times people are asking why, and we have a Fridays with Friends coming up for you on that, but why is inventory low? Why is buyer demand so high? And the keys is just that there was this pent up demand. A lot of people didn't feel comfortable listing their house, or they didn't know, and there was some insecurity in terms of like, well, what's my job gonna look like? What's the industry gonna look like? What's that going to look like? So that's the story behind this kind of pent up demand, or pent up demand in low inventory that really contributed to this.
And I would say prior to 2020, we were in a seller's market still. Not as strong as we are now, but we were in a, again, inventory less than 3 months pretty much overall. So we already had this pent up demand to some level, and then 2020 just blew it out of the water. If you look back on some of our old Friday with Friends, we're like, the inventory is so low, and then 2020 hit, and we were like, it's lower.
We never thought it could go lower.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So why we saw the amount of sellers decrease and the inventory overall decrease in 2020, there were a few different reasons. The first is that sellers were feeling much more aware of the space that they had in their house. So some people might have said, gosh, I love my home, I want to stay here, but others said, I want to sell, I want to move. Maybe they were renting and buyers said, I want to move, I need more space. Maybe my job changed, I have the opportunity to move further out of the city, whatever that might be. But really in quarantine, buyers were able to identify, is this where I want to be or is it not? And a lot of buyers, they might need an office space now. They might need more land because they're not traveling. They might need to, maybe they now have the ability to move away from work. There's so many different reasons, but quarantine really opened a lot of buyers' eyes.
Yes, and so that buyer demand's always been strong, but we definitely are starting to feel that more. And unfortunately, there's a lot of sellers that are staying put, even if they want to move, because they don't have anywhere to go. And so that's why we're kind of in this holding pattern right now.
Exactly.
And stay tuned, we'll have a Fridays with Friends where we dig more into that. But for now,
it's a little bit of a vicious cycle.
Yes, but for now, we want to talk about closed sales year to date.
Perfect.
So let's talk about, what happened in quarter one? What are our projections? And here's what we're seeing. Quarter one in 2020, in Monroe County, there were 1,652 closed sales. In 2020, there were 1693. Oh my gosh. So when we think about these closed sales, we're up, but it's not really up. We're about 1%. It's pretty minimal, but that's good. Now, here's what I will say. Quarter one, like we said, the impact is not really clear yet because from COVID. Like when we talk about quarter two, next quarter.
Wait for that.
We're going to be like, we're comparing it to like beep, beep, beep. Like we're comparing nothing. But quarter one, we can still compare quarter one to quarter one year over year.
Right, because of course, quarter one, we're looking January, February, beginning of March, which really hadn't had that impact yet. So year to date though, or year over year, we are still up Monroe County sales. In Ontario County in 2020, we had 245 sales in the first quarter. And then in 2021, we actually were at 210 sales. So that's actually up over 15%. 2020 versus 2021.
And that is the story, Wayne County, because so many times people say, okay, Wayne County is a little bit more out there and a lot of our buyers want to stay in Monroe County. Well, when there is minimal inventory, people start to expand their search horizon. And that's when they're starting to say, well, I could go into Monroe County and I might not have to pay $70,000 over asking. Wayne County.
Yep.
They can go out to Wayne County. And so that's really interesting. And what's also important is closed sales means business done approximately 2 months prior. And so when we talk about such a strong quarter four, that quarter four was kind of, we're still feeling that in quarter one from that. And so that's why we feel that even though inventory is so ridiculously low, buyer demand's high, but it doesn't matter if there's not homes for them to go into, that we're still kind of seeing that momentum that came from just 2020's kind of pushing everything out. So it's good. We definitely aren't where we want to be in terms of closed sales, but we're not crazy behind, and Wayne County is just leading the way.
Awesome. All right, and the new listings, so in Monroe County, County in 2020, there was 2,510 new listings. And then in 2021, there was 2,111. So we're down almost 16% in new listings, aka that inventory that we've talked about throughout Monroe County is down. And basically there's just not much for them to choose from. Again, in 2020, we were like, wow, the inventory is so low, but now down 16% year over year.
And that last year had nothing to do with COVID.
Nothing to do with COVID.
Nothing to do with COVID. And now we are really starting to see people starting to list their house. In March, we were actually up 4%.
What?
Between March 2020 and March 2021, we were up 4% in Monroe County. So that is something that gives us this feeling like people are starting to feel more comfortable. And maybe they weren't, but maybe with everything that's happening in our world right now, people are starting to open up their homes, feel more confident in the industry they're working in, feeling more confident in what their next steps are. And so that's really good. In Ontario County, our listings were down 33% from year over year. So from 490 down to 330 new listings that hit the market in quarter one. And so in Ontario County, there is such a restriction in terms of inventory. And then Wayne County down 19% from 252 new listings down to 204 new listings. So you'll see across the board, there's just not many people that are, as many people as we need to be listing their houses.
Exactly. So no, not many listings leads us to higher sale prices. So that's the next thing we're getting up.
Tell us about those. What are the average sale prices?
Yeah, so in Monroe County, we are up 14.6% year over year for average sale price. The average sale price right now in Monroe County is $192,000. So that went up from $168,000 last year. So that is a significant increase for our clients and friends and family in Monroe County. In Ontario County, we're up 8.7% from $204 average sale price to $222.
And in Wayne County, we are up 17% from $138 up to $162.
That is huge. 17%.
17%. And again, that's because we're tracing it all the way through, because there's more buyers right now that are actually saying, I can live in Monroe County. Maybe their commute changed. Maybe they just are looking for a house and more flexible with what they're looking for. Maybe they just are leaving kind of the busier world. There's just so many different things that people are experiencing, and that's why we're seeing that increased sales price.
And that's what we always like to look at, is the why behind it, because it's really interesting. The real estate market is such an indication of people's lifestyle, the changing market overall in our economy. So being able to make those correlations is really neat, and it helps us then help our clients and our followers and friends and family and clients all understand the market and what's going on and how it really truly impacts them. And if you own a house right now, this is huge, because the equity that you have could be the highest ever, and it might be a great time to take advantage and get that high sale price.
Yeah, and the messages that we're giving to our clients is, yes, this is a really tough market to be in as a buyer, but it might make sense for you to enter in this market as a buyer, because you might make what you need on the sales side to make that happen.
And interest rates are so low.
Interest rates are so low. There's so many things. Now, we are hopeful that the new construction market is going to really take off this year. The challenge that we're facing is, they said something like, so you're typically, when you purchase new construction, it's already higher because you're buying everything brand new. However, above and beyond that, new construction prices have increased 26% just as a result of materials and contract labor.
Yeah.
So our new builds, it's as much as we want to let's just build some more inventory, we're kind of at a standstill there too. So the message that we want to make sure we are leaving you with is, we're seeing more inventory hit the market. March was a fabulous month that we're able to start to see that. We don't think we're anywhere close to quenching buyer demand. There is so much buyer demand out there, but to really see that the key right now is getting more listings to hit the market. And so if you are considering selling, if it's something that you might want to be doing, we can tell you about your neighborhood, about your price point, about what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and entertain the conversation to be able to really say, oh, this is something that is worth it. Or you might say, it's not really worth it. We never want to pressure anybody into it, but it's a great conversation to have, that it can be a win-win for all parties.
Yeah, exactly. We always say it's never too early to start, as you know, and we can always just start, have the conversation, give you all the information that you need to make the best decision possible. But if you're thinking of selling now, in the next year, whatever it might be definitely a good conversation to have, to say, could we take advantage of this historic market as a seller?
And hopefully, and when we come back for a Q2 market, we are going to have the inventory has been up. We're definitely going to be up from Q2 last
Yes,
year.
exactly.
So that will be great. But hopefully we'll be able to share some great news with all of the sales that we've been able to make this year to help keep these buyers and sellers connecting.
For sure. Awesome.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Friday with Friends. Again, Friday with Friends is our opportunity to talk about what's happening in the real estate market, answer any questions you might have, so that if you have any real estate needs, we would love the opportunity to be your realtor of choice. You can visit us at friendonyourside.com or on all social platforms. Never hesitate to reach out.
Bye, guys.